Good morning, everyone. Sister Audrey Tapala is coming to you from Tampa, Florida, here for INCRadio Florida. Welcome. We are so happy for you to join us this morning because we've got a very hot topic for all of you today that I'm sure if you haven't heard it on social media, I'm sure you've had a hand in it firsthand with someone that you know in your life. So we're excited to dive into this topic today. And I'm going to toss it over to our brother Jim there in the panhandle of Florida. Hello, brother Jim.
Good morning, Sister Audrey. Hot topics. Do we really need any more heat? I think we've got plenty, as it is. The sun is shining so bright here in Pensacola this morning. I can't wait to get out there and get a little bit redder, I think, because it is that time of the year to hit the beach to cool off. But there's also a lot of fun stuff going on playing for those who are willing to take it and get out there and do some extra exercise. I know you're eager to do some of this exercise, Sister Audrey.
Oh my gosh, yes, maybe in like a few weeks or so. Once the season of pregnancy is over. But yes, we're so excited to get right into it once the time comes.
It's more like belly basketball right now, I would say. But
essentially, yes.
But this is definitely the hottest sport in around anywhere. Here in Pensacola, we have so many new courts opening for pickleball. And in Kuyatech, if you go ahead and put us in grid mode, I'm going to share our screen. We have a little presentation that we're going to go through. And while I'm doing that, Sister Audrey, you want to introduce our guest, Brother Colin?
Yes, of course. So on this week's episode, just like what we introduced a little bit, we explore the country's fascination with pickleball. So we want to talk about a little bit of it today and introduce some of the basics that make this sport so easy and fun to play, which I'm sure a lot of you have either seen it, like I said, firsthand, or know someone that's involved in it. And so today we have some guests here with us. Brother Colin, if you can introduce yourself, please, your first and last name and what locale you are from.
Hello, I'm Brother Colin Potez. I'm from the locale of Orlando, and I've been playing pickleball for about a year now, so I'm a little bit used to the sport, so I'm happy to be here.
Very good, Brother Colin. We're so excited to have you here. I know it's not just you that's involved. I believe it's a whole family affair with pickleball, right?
Yes, my dad is the one who's brought me into the sport. And well, he's brought my entire family into the sport. My mom, she's also involved a lot in within like pickleball, and we've bought so many like things like more rackets to play pickleball with, a bunch of pickleballs, even a pickleball cannon that like we use to like practice on our own if you know like it's raining outside because you know the Florida weather. But yeah, we even have our own net, so. At some point,
let me ask you, brother.
We don't have a backyard, but hey, we might have a court in our driveway.
Oh, Sister Audrey. Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. So sorry, some technical issues. Oh, yeah. That's really cool, Brother Colin. So you guys are heavily involved in pickleball then. So you guys have a whole array of things at home for you guys to warm up with, right?
Yes, sister. Yeah, it's just been a fun little journey. At first, like we didn't like have like any of this, and we actually used like a full tennis court that and we just used the tennis court lines, but we just got our reps in, and like the court, you know, like we always play it at nighttime because it's always hot. But sometimes some courts don't have lights, so sometimes they're just playing in the dark sometimes.
Now, Brother Colin, we've so jumped into this, and I'm sitting here. I gotta admit, I'm scratching my head a little bit. I know I walked by pickleball courts. I have seen it looks similar to tennis, but I think I'm the only one here that really doesn't know what pickleball is. so kind of explain a little bit, what is pickleball?
So pickleball is kind of like a combination of different sports. It's like a mix of tennis, badminton, and ping pong. And it's really been on the rise. And there's a bunch of like it's a little bit of like different rules like from tennis. There's like a kitchen. There's a like you can't like touch like after you serve you got to let the ball bounce on your side and the opponent's side. But other than that, it's a pretty simple game, and I would consider it like a gateway sport to like tennis, badminton, and ping pong. And if you really want to get into those sports, you might as well try pickleball first because it's the mix of all of them.
Well, I would love to try. I would love to do all those things, and I've been trying to get my knees to agree. But I would like to know. So you talk about you guys bought a bunch of stuff. I mean, when I see pickleball, I see it's like a wiffle ball to me. And for people that don't know that, it's like baseball with the holes in it. So it's that looks a little cheaper, I for a lack of a better word. And then a paddle, like you said, it's a mix between ping pong. I've seen the paddles. Are they kind of like? Would you say it's a little? I know it's all relative, but it's cheaper to get into pickleball. I mean, can you start getting the stuff pretty easily?
Yeah, so all you kind of really need is like just a pickleball and a racket, and as long as you like find like places that are free, like outdoor places or outdoor courts, majority of them are free. However, like there's some facilities that like have indoor pickleball courts, and compared to like clubs, there's like one indoor court that we went to with my dad. And it's only like $5 per person, and it's really cheap compared to like tennis. And there's even some facilities that like uh, it'll be free, but sometimes it'll be like really early in the morning. But the facility is so nice that it's kind of worth waking up for.
So with that workout, because this would be my next thing, because it's a wiffle ball, it seems like it's moving a little bit slower than a tennis ball. I mean, could I start playing? Maybe not against you, Colin, but with another seasoned gentleman like myself, could we get a pretty good match going without I don't know, grabbing our chest or anything?
Yeah. Pickleball is like a really good workout, but it's not as like straining as like tennis. So like you can go outside, you play for like a good hour or so, and like by the time you get home, you don't feel like, man, I've like you don't feel like your knees hurting, like your chest be hurting. But and then like another like pro is that like it's even though it's like smaller, it's not like you don't need as much skill as you need for like ping pong and badminton. Because like I've tried doing ping pong and badminton, and it's a little harder just because of how small and like precise you need to be. But like pickleball is kind of like in the middle, so like you don't have to try too hard, and you don't have to be like you can just jump right in like during the like activity for the pickleball. um a lot of my friends they just hopped right in, and they're able to understand the sport right away.
So, Brother Colin, like I'm passing by like the universities, just parks here in the Tampa Bay area. They already had some tennis courts, right? But I feel like in the past, and I don't know if it's like that with you there in the Panhandle, Brother Jim, but I feel like parks have been renovating lately to add pickleball courts to the grounds. And I mean, there are lines of people lined up every morning. I mean, before 9 a.m. on a Saturday, which typically was like a slow start to the day, right? So you usually see families walking and whatnot, but no, there are families of all ages lined up for pickleball courts. So, Brother Colin, in your opinion, with you and your family involved, what's so appealing about pickleball? Why do you keep coming back to it?
Man, so it's like every moment that like I play with my family, like it's always like competitive, even though it's just a simple game. And since it's not as taxing on like my parents, because you know they're always like busy with work and all that. They like pickleball, like you're able to like invest your time into this sport, but like you don't have to deal with the consequences of like being injured and like, oh no, like I have to take work off because I'm injured and I can't like have fun for myself. So like I feel like every experience, like I it's always like pretty fun for me.
All right. Well, we've got a few slides, and I think you're part of some of these, Brother Collins. But I'm going to go ahead. You can see some of the brethren here really getting into pickleball. Now, like you said, so those courts do look a lot smaller. Are they about half the size of a tennis court, or what would you say, brother?
Yeah, so it'd be like half the size of a tennis court. So like one side of like a tennis court, like the line in between like the kitchen, that's what it's called. I think it's big enough like inside of like half of a tennis court. So that's like what roughly the dimensions are.
Hey, look nice. And hey, I recognize these folks. This is here in Pensacola. And it looks like they're setting up. So do you can play just one on one or you can play doubles? Is that right?
Yeah, so there's different kinds of like not styles, but like different types of like matches. So you have doubles, which is like 2v2, and singles, which is just 1v1, just like in tennis and badminton. Oh, and ping pong too. And uh, each like singles is like more running, but like with doubles you gotta like rely on your teammate a lot more to create like open shots. Meanwhile, in like singles, you can just like put it in the corner, and now the person has to run to the other side of the court,
Ah.
and just a lot of running for both sides.
And let's see. Whoops. And let's see this next slide here. And I think this is some people you recognize, huh?
Yes. This is the Orlando activity over here, and man, it was hot, but it was really fun. Just playing with all of my friends and stuff, teaching them how to like play pickleball. You can see uh, some of the kids playing, or some of my atas and kuyas also like learning the sport, and it's just a great time over there.
Well, I tell you, we have an opportunity here. We have our Olympian. We're going to Paris. No, it's not Paris. It's not Paris. It's actually Brother Robert, and he is over here. Good morning, Brother Robert. He's going to show us some moves.
Hey, how are you guys doing this morning?
Good
Can you
morning.
hear me,
So,
Brother Jim?
yes, hear you good. So where are you at?
We're actually down here in Tampa, Florida this morning. We wanted to obviously do this broadcast from a place where we could actually demonstrate pickleball, and to demonstrate people's fascination with the sport. There are 10 courts over there that are completely full with a line. So my tutorial, yes, my subject matter expert for pickleball today, Brother Angelo, and I found this under construction pickleball arena that they're actually building with stands. So I'm guessing at some point this is going to become a place to house a lot of these tournaments. But we've got pickleball courts that are here. There aren't any nets, so you're going to have to imagine the nets. But Brother Angelo is going to demonstrate a few of the basics of pickleball, including the serve, the return, talk a little bit about the rules. And as Brother Colin alluded, we talked about the anatomy of a court. And one of those items, of course, is my personal favorite, and that's the kitchen. Because, you know, nothing can go bad in the kitchen, right? Unless you burn it. So I'm going to be cooking up some serves. And Brother Angelo, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello. Good morning.
So, Brother Angelo, you've obviously are new to pickleball, right? So this is a sport that you started playing, I think, just earlier this year or late last year.
Earlier this year.
So what we want to do is have you guys show us show me a little bit about the basics of pickleball, like the differences between people try to take pickleball and put it in the same categories like tennis or other net sports. It's actually, from what I've spoken to, a lot of people say that it's more closely related to ping pong than anything else, I guess, from a scoring perspective. So is that an accurate description, you think, Brother Angelo?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, let's get in. I know we're getting close to time. Let's go ahead and have you demonstrate for our viewing audience what are the key elements in serving in pickleball. So why don't you go on over to the service area, and then I'll walk over there with you, and you can kind of show us. So what Brother Angelo is going to do now is show, and I guess before we start, we wanted to just kind of show you guys again. As you can see here, the pickleball court is set up. It's like a mini version of what some people would consider a tennis court, but there are the lines that are there. Imagine, again, if you will, that there's a net, because, again, we're here under construction. The net, from what I'm told, isn't the regulatory or the regulation net for pickleball is lower than a tennis net, but the serves are unique as well, because in tennis, it's typically an overhand serve, and in pickleball, it's actually very different. So, Brother Angelo, why don't you tell us a little bit about what the differences are in serving?
In serving in pickleball, you need to serve underhanded. Compared to other sports, you can serve overhand. But here, as long as it's below the waist, it's legal.
All right, great. So I'm going to go stand over here, and I'm going to have Brother Angelo serve the ball to me, which obviously isn't going to end well for yours truly. I'm sure you guys already know that. And demonstrate when serving the ball. And then I'm going to be the one that's actually going to be receiving it. So hopefully you guys can see Brother Angelo as he's going to serve the ball, and I'm going to receive. Okay, so where should I stand, Brother Angelo, if you're serving?
Right behind the line.
Right behind the line. Okay. Do I need to be directly across from you, or should I be on the diagonal?
Diagonal.
On the diagonal. Okay. So if you're serving there, then I'm going to be over here. All right. Let's see how this ends. All right, Brother Angelo. So we've got one serve coming. And yeah, so that pretty much ended exactly as we expected. So here's another ball for you, Brother Angelo. So give me a second chance. Can you guys see Angelo?
Brother Robert, I think you're a little bit out of frame
Okay.
in that side of the court. There you go. Perfect.
There you go.
All right, so that means you got to hit the ball right here, so I don't go out of frame.
Got it.
Okay. All right.
And slowly.
And slowly, yeah. Additionally, it's got to be slow. So, all right, let's see. It's an underhand serve. I'm ready for you. Bring it into the kitchen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's 2 for 2. 2 for 2.
So Colin, when people play pickleball, are they supposed to hit it back and forth, or is it just more like what we're watching here?
No, this is more. This is called target practice. So,
Yeah, you want to hit it back and forth, and you want to hit it on their side too.
there you go. Okay, there. Now you can see me better. He's going to serve the ball to me again. So there we go.
It's like a play and pause, Brother Jim.
Bring the heat. Okay, there you go. Oh,
There you go.
the ball came back. Okay, let's do this. So when I'm returning the ball, Brother Angelo, what are the rules about my return?
The ball has to land on each side of the court. So the one serving has to stand behind the line in case the returner is going to return it deep into the court.
Okay.
So as a server, you don't want to go past the line in case they hit it deep, because you need to let it bounce.
So it has to bounce on your side of the court.
Yep.
Okay. And then before you hit the ball to bring it back, what do you have to allow it to bounce as well, or is it something that just you can just hit it back as soon as the ball comes over the net?
As a returner or as a server?
As when you're receiving it, like you served it to me, and by some miracle I return the ball. Then can you hit the ball while it's in the air, or do you have to wait for it to bounce?
I have to wait for it to bounce, because as a server, it didn't hit my ball. It didn't hit my side yet.
Okay, so you've got to wait for it to bounce, and then you can return the ball. All right.
Yep.
So let's try that again. Go ahead and serve the ball, and what we're going to see is I'm going to make another attempt to actually return the ball this time in a manner that would allow him to return it to me. So let's see how this works out. All right. So he's going to serve the ball, and oh, I returned it. Oh, look at that! And oh, did you guys see that? Was that on camera? He actually missed the ball. Did you see? I hope you guys saw that, right? Okay. One more. We're gonna do it again. We got 9 minutes.
It's all about warming up, I think. But
Yeah, I warmed up.
That's right.
All right, there you go. Oh, there's another return. Okay. Oh, and there's the ball. I honestly believe that he's probably at a point where he's just trying to figure out my game. So let's take a look and see how far he can take me here. All right. So we're going to start it again, and then. All right, here goes again. He's bringing me another one, and there's a return. There's another comes back.
Nice.
There's another return. Oh,
There you
look at
go.
that! 2 returns in a row. Okay.
Now you
This is
roll.
called a volley, right?
Yeah.
And now we're playing ping pong. So I think one of the things that we need to do is figure out exactly, Brother Angelos, because after that I'm actually winded now. So when you talk about fitness is something that's an integral part. I know that pickleball, the big attraction to pickleball is the fact that it doesn't really require you to be like the most built physical specimen, obviously, but it does actually require you to have a little bit of coordination, right? So, Brother Angelo, when you started playing pickleball, what was one of the I guess things about it that just made you become so attracted to playing it? What is it about pickleball versus like tennis or badminton? What do you like about pickleball?
In pickleball, it doesn't take up as much space as like a normal tennis court would, and it's a lot forgiving towards people who are new to the sport compared to tennis and badminton. So for badminton, you need a lot more hand-eye coordination compared to pickleball, and in tennis, it's a lot more physically demanding.
And go ahead, Brother Jim.
No, I really liked what Brother Colin said. You kind of reiterated that because I thought, well, this is probably closer to tennis, but if it's easier than badminton and easier than ping pong, like I'm saying, I mean, it does seem a lot more accessible to me. But you all are throwing out a lot of terms. You got the kitchen, you got Molly. I mean, is there a resource that somebody? Because I don't want to just walk out onto the court and just kind of not know what I'm talking about.
You just need to memorize those 2 words, Brother Jim. Say those things over and over again.
So what would be advice? And we'll ask this of both Brother Colin and Brother Angelo. Like somebody who's never, like Brother Jim, who's never played pickleball before. What advice would you give him to actually give himself a taste or get started in playing pickleball? We'll start with you, Brother Angelo. What's the
When I started, I bought a pickleball set that had 6 balls, 4 paddles, for like $20. So it's a good start for anyone who wants to play. And there's a lot of facilities where they're open as early as 7 a.m. or even earlier. And there are also facilities that you could rent out a private court for yourself and some friends that are starting out. So you can use that time and supplies or money to practice with some people who are beginning. There's also the Tampa Bay indoor pickleball or indoor facilities. They offer classes for any beginners as well.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you. And Brother Colin, I heard you mention earlier on that we were talking about your family, right? It's become a family sport. And your dad's obviously really gotten into it. He's gotten you into it. Sports can sometimes be very expensive because of the equipment and all of the, like golf and other sports where you're spending thousands of dollars on equipment. with pickleball, is it like kind of moderately priced, or is it inexpensive, or is it an expensive sport to get into?
So, with pickleball, like it's not that expensive. I would say like the most expensive thing that usually like is like a good paddle, but like some like wooden paddles cost like 65 like dollars, maybe a little bit more. I mean, I like to just spend cheap, but like I don't think it's like that bad of a price for like a racket. And I think like just starting out small, I think all you kind of really need is a just a racket and a ball. That's all you really need to start. And just go out there and just have some fun. That's all you really gotta do.
And when you first started, Brother Angelo, you said that you bought a pickleball set, right? I guess it's a set that has paddles and the balls and everything. Is it? Do you recommend, or what are the big differences between like a wooden paddle, or I know I've seen like these carbon fiber paddles. I've seen paddles that have sold for like $400, and as Brother Colin said, some that are way less, right? What are are there key differences in the type of paddle as a beginner versus somebody who's been playing for a while?
Yeah. When you first start, your skills aren't very accented enough, so you can just probably hit the ball as like a normal person would do. That's why a wooden paddle would do as when you're beginning. But when you start including different kinds of skill sets, like spinning the ball in types of directions, or hitting it short, or hitting it deep, or hitting it faster, you kind of need a more paddle that is approved by the sport.
So
Like carbon
something
fiber.
something more competitive, I guess, because it's lighter, it's easier to access, and everything. So,
Yeah, the
well,
grip is very phenomenal when you're trying to do other things than just hit the
yeah.
ball.
Well, I don't know. My right now my grip is pretty useless because I'm filled with sweat. But then again, we do live in Florida, so that's the problem. All right. Well, we are down almost to the bottom of the hour. I don't know, Sister Audrey, if there are any comments in the chat that we want to go ahead and read out to the audience, and then you can toss it to Brother Jim to take us out.
Yes, of course. So we have our very loyal viewer, Brother Adrian Abelgas, coming in from South Las Vegas saying hello. We also have Sister Jennifer Trinidad from Orange County, California. Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us. We also have some Priscilla Bayton from Rizal. So sorry, Paul. But thank you for joining us all the way from the Philippines. It looks like pickleball has crossed the span of the country. So, Brother Adrian, if pickleball becomes an Olympic sport, then I'll be Brother Robert's first sponsor to represent the U.S. So there you go. You heard it here first on INCRadio Florida. And then shout out to Cheska McCorrell. Good evening, brethren. Even if I'm not from Florida, happy watching from the locale of Tandansora, District of Central Philippines. And of course, Sister Katlea joining us from INCRadio from INCRadio New Jersey. Hello, Sister Katlea. And shout out to Brother Nathan Russell. They have a few places there in South Central States where you can play. So we'll hit you up when we visit over there in South Central States so we can do an INCRadio pickleball tournament.
That is so awesome. Hey, and before we head out, Brother Angelo, I want to give you a chance. You want to give out any shout outs, because we appreciate you and Brother Colin joining us today. You're both fantastic. You got any shout outs there?
I'd just like to shout out my parents for just letting me like play this game, just introducing me and just allowing me to have this fun experience.
And let me shout out to your parents too. I love your parents. I miss them so much. I haven't seen them in a while. So tell them hi from me. How about you, Brother Angelo?
I'd like to shout out to Neil Soria for introducing me to the sport and for reserving all the courts that we played on, indoor or outdoor.
Well,
And becoming my personal competitor in all things that we do. But yeah.
Oh, there we go. Shout out to Brother Robert. Thank you both so much for joining us, and thank you all for joining us today. I'm gonna get me a paddle. I'm gonna get me a ball. I'm gonna go pickleballing because I'm not gonna take you all on. But thank you all. Hope you'll join us next week. Coming up next, please stay tuned, and we will see you next week. Bye bye.
This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.